In today's episode, every other device has connection other than this one. Old-time support stories. Well, there's no going back now. Define OK. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Every other device has connection other than this one. $WAN equals wide area network, aka how a router gets internet. $LAN equals local area network, aka router provide these devices internet please. Have you ever had one of those days when you keep seeing the same issue pop up? Yeah, that's been my last few weeks. To set the story, I work IT with a company with deployments all over the US. Whenever one of these deployments have an issue, they call us. So I'm on the phone with one of our deployments and they tell me along the lines, hey, every other device is connected to the internet other than this one. Already, I had a theory on the issue, but it wasn't until pulling up the documentation for the deployment I discovered the issue. We use a nice router management solutions made by that one company with that logo that is a San Francisco icon, and that confirmed to me what's going on. $me equals hey, can you find the labeled cable that says internet for me and unplug it for me real quick? $deployment equals sure, I can. As the deployment does that, I see that one of the LAN slots gets unplugged. Welp, that's the theory confirmed. $me equals can you move that cable over to where it says WAN 1, and the cable in WAN 1 to the area labeled LAN? $deployment equals sure can. No later after he does that, router reports up and device reports up as well. Apparently what happened was someone switched Ethernet cable for WAN and moved it over to LAN, and did the same for a cable to LAN to WAN. The only reason why the other devices didn't go down was because there was a cellular failover, and that kicked in to provide internet while the site's Ethernet was having some fun over the LAN area. As I write this, I'm working on another ticket for the same thing somewhere else. Old-time support stories. This happened long enough ago for no one to remember the products I worked on or what they did. The products were MS Mail. This was the product Microsoft sold for email before Exchange Server. This is a story of how I was twice flown long distances and fixed the issues within 30 minutes of walking in the door. Unfortunately, at the time these were not remote debugging systems. I worked in support in Microsoft in the early 90s, first in Australia, and moved to Redmond a year or so later. In Aussie, I was the email guy. At the time there were few enough people that only one second-tier support person was able to handle all the Aussie escalations. Considering we had the world's largest customer, the telephone company, it was super fun, and sometimes I got called into weirdness. The real things that were tricky were our gateway products, particularly the one that connected MS Mail to IBM's PROF system that ran on a mainframe. First time, I had to go from Sydney to Singapore to see a large petroleum company. As an aside, my laptop was a compact sewing machine. Looked them up. I used it as a sniffer mainly, and would read email in a DOS client. When I got there, after checking the system was okay, I checked the connection to the mainframe. Nothing was being passed between systems. Turned out the router didn't allow communication. It's not like they hadn't assured me everything was working. It would have never worked. It got a little aggravating that the most expensive product Microsoft sold at the time needed prayers and sacrifices to the devil to work. Second time, I had just moved to Redmond, and we had a problem at another petroleum refiner with the same gateway in Rio. Before I got on the plane, I explained what had happened in Singapore, and how they had to make sure that was working. I had a million assurances that they had gone through my checklist. Let's just say they exactly the same problem. The only good thing about this is our proposal for a new tier of support was accepted, and we created the escalation engineer role. I was one of the 3 original ones, one for mail, one for Windows networking, one for SQL. I believe there have been about 800 of them in the subsequent years. Well, there's no going back now. This just happened. I do tech support for medical software. When a doctor copies text from other sources, MS Word for example, and pastes it into a document in the software, it doesn't always go well due to invisible formatting and such. I'd encode it. Phone rings. Hello, this is Saint of Thieves blah blah. And I'll preface this to say that this customer is normally pretty aware. Customer, I have a doctor where when he's trying to sign a document in a patient's chart, it's telling him too many characters or too many bytes or something. Me, okay, let's get a screen share going so I can see this. Me, I'd like to see the error. So, can we try to sign it now? Her, yeah, we can try. Me, well, that seemed to work. Her, so, will all the text still be there? Me, I don't know why not. Her, okay. He wanted to remove this text here. Me, I'm sorry, what? Her, he wanted to remove this text here. Me, he was trying to sign it when he got the error. You said it was okay to sign it just now. It's signed. Her, so, he won't be able to take that text out? Me, no. That's what signing does. It says the document is how he wants it. It's part of the clinical record now. She's fine with that, and we end the call. I take my headset off and put my head in my hands. Define OK. User, I can't close this order. Me, looks AR the order. This order was generated with the wrong instructions. Let me change it. In the meantime, you have to undo the closing of the order if you did it. It's not that it won't let them do it, it's that, since the instructions include more steps than the one their department does, it won't actually close the order. User, alright. Me, okay, I changed the instructions. User, I still can't close it. Sends a screen capture that basically says they have already closed the order. Me, that's because you didn't undo the closing. User, I don't know what that means. Me, why would you say alright then? Okay, you gotta do this, insert instructions. User, now I can close it. Thanks. Note that undoing means undoing the action that is basically their sole job in the software. Edit, I noticed I used OK in the title and alright in the body. The actual word was bueno, which in Spanish, taken literally it means good, but it can be used as OK or alright in this context. LOL.